Hi, my name is Sharad Sharma. I'm one of the co-founders of iSPIRT Foundation. Well, as many of you know, there are many ways to look at iSPIRT. One way of looking at iSPIRT is that it's a collection of volunteers that are rewriting the script of the nation. So which way are we taking India? We want to take India away from this idea that we should be the back office of the world. We want India to produce products that solve hard problems, not just in India, but for the world. And this requires reliance on R&D, reliance on markets and market players and right policies. So at the core, we are ecosystem builders. We call it playground builders. So that's what we do. And in this video, let me tell you how you can be part of this journey. Maybe I should start from the beginning, right? Back in 2009, we had this angst that we were not doing well in software products. So we asked a question, will more of the same solve the problem? And the answer to that was no. So we decided to take a different tack and go after mid-market SaaS. Why SaaS? Because cloud had come there. Why mid-market? Because you could sell in the world without having a field sales force. So what did we do? We galvanized ourselves as a group of volunteers and brought a new ecosystem to life. That SaaS ecosystem is thriving today. What brought it to life? The fact that we were no greed, no glory volunteers. No greed means you don't take any money. We let the market enjoy the fruits of their innovation. No glory means we will never stand in front of the policymaker and take credit for what has happened. We give credit away. So we were no greed, no glory volunteers, which brought this to life. And then the SaaS ecosystem to continue this. Some of our iSPIRT founders, co-founders, they created enduring institutions to take this forward. So you have SaaS Bhumi that came out of that and Upekha that came out of that. So our third motto is give everything away. So that keeps us honest, grounded, focused on whatever we are working on at any point in time. So our second innings, we said, okay, but what about digital infrastructure? Cloud was doing very well at that point in time. We knew the importance of digital infrastructure, but we didn't know what digital infrastructure India will participate in. And again, we asked ourselves the same question. This time, taking a problem like financial inclusion, and we said, is financial inclusion happening? 2012, the famous Rajini slide. Answer is no. Will more of the same solve the problem? No. So can we take an approach by designing an infrastructure, public infrastructure that will allow us to bring financial inclusion to life? And that infrastructure was called India Stack. And that Rajini slide that describes it, that slide exists from back in 2012. And that has been a labor of love for all this while. And essentially in that infrastructure, the flow of people is there. In fact, our MOSIP is now in 22 countries, flow of money, everybody knows UPI, flow of data, of which the personal data part is done, account aggregator, the DPDP Act, but the training data sets is still underway. And you'll hear a little bit about that, later in this presentation. So it's an unfinished revolution. Why? Because ultimately all this infrastructure has to become available to solve a problem of MSME lending, of cash flow lending for the MSMEs. We are at the threshold of solving this problem. We've done some pilots, they've gone well, and we are really excited about the scale that we are beginning to see there. So this is, why do I share this with you? Because I want to give you a sense of how we think, right? So this is really our mental picture as ecosystem builder. So now we are solving many problems and building the right ecosystems or like playgrounds for it. You'll get a flavor of some of them today. Why are they not in the public domain? Because we have one more motto. One more motto is work quietly. We are like, very often our ecosystem building is like an iceberg. Most of the work that we do is invisible to most people. It's not meant to be secret. It's not secret, but we don't hype it. We don't make it visible, in a marketing sense to anybody else. It's quiet work that makes ecosystems. We believe that if we create facts on the ground, the buzz will follow. And wherever we have tried individually or through our partners to focus on creating the buzz first so that facts on the ground follow, it's not worked. So we are backing away from that idea completely. So a lot of our work is quiet. And today, what you'll hear little later is probably 1/3 of the ecosystems that we're working on, and 2/3, are still there. And some point we'll come back and talk about them in the future. But as you think about volunteering, just make an assumption. You're hearing about some of the work that is taking place in iSPIRT. It's merely meant to be able to give you a flavor of what we do rather than everything that what we do. At the core, we are really playground architects, ecosystem architects. And to be able to play that role, we obviously need very often to bring new technology to the table. And very often we do the hard work to bring that public tech to the table. Increasingly, though, we are also involved in R&D organizations that would bring that technology to the table. And we are shaping, the world of R&Ds, and we call them focus research organizations. And but one part is the tech itself, the base tech, which is building blocks that people will see. The second part, of course, and you'll hear about this in the first video that you see from Shyam. The second part is that we need to shape the policy. And so we call ourselves policy architects, we policy Sherpas. And the second video that you'll see from Venki will give you an idea about that. And that's important because a lot of our work involves stuff like that. And some of you who may not be techies yourself, but you could play a role in this revolution that is taking place. And the third are market architects. So these are the people who shape the markets. And they are the ones who work with market players, get them involved, help them see the value of embracing this new ecosystem that is coming up, solve the problems that we're going out to solve, and benefit from doing that. And those market architects, we often call them mavens. And so you'll see all these three actually brought together by some of the most silent people in iSPIRT. They are the playground architects. And so that's really the picture that we have. We have different types of volunteers who are always working together, usually in an ecosystem. Some of them work across ecosystems to bring all of this to life. So today, when you hear about, what are the opportunities available, these are merely, as I said, meant to be indicators, flavors of what we are doing. This is not the sum total of what we are doing right now. But come and join if you want to be a volunteer. We now open up our volunteer window once or twice a year. This volunteer window is going to be open for a few months. So this is the time to go out and see if you would be interested in being part of this journey that iSPIRT is involved in. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them as you go through that process. Thank you so much for your time.
Greetings from iSPIRT. Today, wanted to share some interesting updates on our project DEPA for AI. We have been working the last couple of years to build on privacy preservation for AI models. We have now reached a point where we have created a base capability that allows us to train privacy preserved machine learning models. We're now at the cusp of expanding this work to cover a lot of other critical aspects required. Please note, all of this work is open sourced and also of very high quality. So today I'm going to explore and share with you some of the areas where we want volunteers. The first area, today we have built our implementation around the Azure cloud providing services. We want to expand this further to support additional clouds in specific AWS and also GCP. AWS is a high priority for us at this point of time because we have many requests of exploring our capability on these clouds. On the Azure, while we already have an existing and a fairly good offering, we want to kind of get that also scaled out. And we want to explore and build an implementation also on GCP. So it's a technical role, looking for people who have expertise on areas related to these clouds. And in specific, who have experience on working with confidential compute, Dockers, and so on. The second area where we're focusing on is today our framework supports a lot of network type models. We want to extend the support for classical machine learning models as well, because there are many of these that are deployed in enterprises and organizations today. So we need people who are hands-on on machine learning with implementation-rich experience, as well as the ability to work and implement these into the framework. And as you know, this is a difficult and a hard topic of privacy preservation. And hence, many a times we have to refer research papers, look at code implementations, work with subject matter experts, and try to build that into our framework. So again, a technical role, but we're looking for specialists in these areas as well. The third area is related to Gen AI and large language models. We want to expand the scope of our current capability into able to address fine-tuning use cases for large language models. And these can be from open models which are available with OpenAI or Meta and so on. So again, a technical role. People are very comfortable working with code and fine-tuning for these kind of scenarios. So there's a lot of implementation, understanding the concepts, and then bringing it back into our framework. The fourth area is we are getting a lot of active interest from the industry to adopt our framework. And we support these industries and organizations in providing a base level of support, doing POCs and capability assessments and so on. And hence, we're looking at people who have technical as well as project management stroke functional skills to help us as we engage with some of these use cases. So we'll try to put quite a bit of information on the website, but quite a bit is already available on the iSPIRT blogs. Quite a bit is available on my LinkedIn page as well. And we'll try to share out some resources that you can look at if you're interested in each of these areas. Please reach out to us, and you may ask questions in case something is not clear. But these are the 4 areas we're soliciting support. Thanks, and looking forward to seeing some of you joining us on this exciting journey of open source AI and scaling that for India.
Hi, my name is Venkatesh Hariharan, and I'm part of the iSPIRT working group on software patents. In this brief video, I will explain why software patents is an important and a critical challenge for the Indian IT industry, and why we are looking for volunteers and what the role basically entails. There are also some links that we can share with you. There are some iSPIRT videos, etc., that also explain more, but let me jump right into it. We believe that software patents do not work for a bunch of reasons, because of practical reasons, because of policy reasons, and because of principles. So let me start with the policy reasons. I think when we look at issues like software patenting, we have to look at what is the benefit for the country, what is the geopolitical situation, and where is the balance of power really. If you look at software patenting, it's something that there is a huge arsenal of software patents that have been acquired by the developed countries. We are actually extremely late to the game, and if we try to start the process of acquiring software patents at this point in time, unfortunately the game has completely changed. There was a time when proprietary software was the norm, and software patenting was kind of closely tied to the world of proprietary software, because in a sense what you do is you say, I have built this software, I want to also have a monopoly on the methods and the processes around that software. Unfortunately, the world has completely changed, and it is completely now, all the innovation that is happening in the world of open source. And this is something that benefits India enormously, because we can access software worth billions and billions of dollars. If you look at the Linux kernel, it's estimated that the cost of Linux operating system, the 236 million lines of code, would be roughly about $10 billion. So we are able to access these kind of emerging technologies for free. We are able to access the latest developments in AI, the latest open source software in AI, etc., etc. And pretty much every emerging technology today is being built using the collaborative innovation model of open source, which is basically, resting on collaboration, community, and the shared ownership of knowledge. If you look at software patenting, it is the diametrical opposite of the open source model, because this is a model where an individual or a company has an exclusive right on certain software methods. That could be one-click shopping, that could be, etc., etc. Slide to unlock. So even if you are implementing these methods like one-click shopping or slide to unlock on open source software, you have to pay a royalty to the patent owner. Therefore, we believe this is not good for India. What the benefits that open source gives India is being taken away by proprietary software and be taken away by software patenting. And I think a lesson from Indian hockey would be something very instructive in this regard. If you remember, at one point in time, hockey was played on grass, and when that was the playing ground, Indians were the leaders. We won many consecutive hockey Olympic golds, and we were the world leaders in hockey. But the moment the playing ground was changed to AstroTurf, we couldn't afford that. It cost in today's terms, it costs about 5 to 6 crores to completely AstroTurf a stadium. So obviously, the playing ground for hockey, getting players to adapt to an expensive AstroTurf, etc., was very, very difficult for India. So since the 70s, India has really kind of lost its prominence in the world of hockey. So from a public policy perspective, this is not a very good idea. We believe it doesn't even work in practice because abstract ideas are very hard to draw boundaries around. So software is something that is highly abstract. If I have a piece of land, I can say that it's bounded on east, west, north, south by these other properties, and I can say this belongs to me. But with an abstract idea, it's very hard to draw those kind of boundaries. So many people believe that it doesn't work in practice, and in principle we believe this is wrong, because software is an applied form of mathematics and logic, and world over people do not allow patents on mathematics and logic, because unfettered use of these artifacts is essential for the progress of humanity. So we request engineers, we request people who have some prior experience with software patenting to be part of the iSPIRT volunteer group on software patents, because the number of software patents that is being granted by the Indian Patent Office is rising rapidly. I think this will lead to enormous amounts of litigation. If you are running a software company, in the next few years, you could be hit by a bunch of lawsuits, and assuming that you are hit by a software patent lawsuit and you want to fight it to the bitter end, we estimate that the cost for you will be roughly about 3 crores in legal fees and lawyer fees, etc., etc. So we have an opportunity to say that we want to make India a software patent free zone. We want to focus on open collaborative innovation and not on proprietary monopolization of ideas and programming methods and techniques. What I'd like to say is that we have an opportunity to nip this in the bud before it becomes too difficult to push back against. And, therefore, I would like to invite all of you to help support this effort to preserve our freedom to program, preserve our freedom to develop software without worrying about the threat of software patents. And I shall leave a set of links at the end of this video for you to look at and to learn more about it. Thank you so much.
Hi, welcome to the volunteer conversation of Sakram. Sakram is the cybersecurity initiative of iSPIRT. In this connected world where we are always connected to the internet, cybersecurity has become an utmost importance. Cyber threats are increasing, cyber crimes are increasing, and it is impacting the individuals and the organizations. And people are not ready for this. Why? People are unprepared because they lack the awareness. They don't know what's about cybersecurity and what would be the dangers of cybersecurity. And they lack the knowledge. They don't know what to do in order to be ready to face the cyber threats. Or they don't have the capability. They don't know how to do that. If they have all the three, they lack motivation. Organizations go through this cycle of weaknesses and they get impacted by the cybersecurity threats. Sakram is the savior. How? Sakram's framework emphasizes on be secure always. You configure, set up the measures to kind of secure the organization. You set up the processes, train the people, and you monitor to make sure that what has been set up is properly being monitored and any issues are being observed. And if there are issues, manage them through comprehensive information system management system, information security management system. And Sakram focuses on 100% coverage. A chain is as strong as the weakest link. Identify all the threat points and secure them to protect. Protect all the activities around the threat points. One of the tenets of cybersecurity is zero trust. Don't trust anyone, external or internal. Deny by default. Remove all the permissions and give only what is necessary. Set up a multi-ring, multi-level security. So even if one ring is breached, there are more rings to kind of to secure what's being protected. Encompassing all this is the Sakram practice. It's a comprehensive scope based on the checklist, which are tasks and events to be secure always. And it facilitates automation through Sakram platform. Sakram approach is a playbook. A playbook will facilitate easing the securing process. It will facilitate to secure in phases based on the criticality. One doesn't have to do in a big bang way, the whole of it. They can kind of look at in a phase by phase manner. The playbook also provides an end-to-end wizard. It takes you through the process step by step, providing the instructions. And so at each step, understanding what needs to be done and further educating through the Securipedia. This playbook approach eases the entire process of securing the organization. And the automation of this approach is through the Sakram platform. Sakram platform facilitates just not only securing the threat points, many other things that are required as part of the securing process in the organization. It facilitates automation through plugin integrator to configure the devices automatically or connect with the security tools that are deployed in the organization. Overall, Sakram platform provides a playground for organizations to use it and automate their entire cybersecurity process. It provides the community to come and enhance the platform by providing more functionality. So what's coming in the short run? The playbooks, for data security is going to be released soon. And after that, the malware prevention and recovery playbook and the network security playbook. When we talk about the playbook, it provides an end-to-end wizard facilitating to achieve the objectives for which the playbook has been provided. And also the platform components, the plugin infrastructure, which will facilitate automation of configuring the devices or connecting to the security tools, the analytical engine for alerts management, and so the organization can focus on what is important and based on the priority, attend to that alert.
Now that we have explained what Sakram is, we hope we have planted a kernel of curiosity in you, our viewers. We are looking for people to join us on this journey, people passionate about cybersecurity. For the checklist, our volunteers should have experience and a background in cybersecurity. However, the architects need not have a cybersecurity background. Come join us at Sakram. Let us think outside the box. Let's ask some tough questions and solve challenges together.
There are highly dynamic challenges. The landscape of cybersecurity is constantly changing, and one has to be ahead of them in order to face those threats. And from an organization perspective, it's a constant fight between efficiency versus security. People would like to take shortcuts so that they can efficiently do the things. So the challenge for Sakram is to not compromise on security and also efficiency. It's a comprehensive end-to-end solution. And you will get an experience building a playground, which is cutting edge, large and complex, and involves a community. Overall, one would get a very rich experience of being part of Sakram. Thank you, and we look forward to being part of our team.
Hi, I'm Saurabh Chakrabarti. So let me give you a brief introduction about PM-WANI. PM-WANI is an initiative launched by the Indian government in December of 2020 to expand public Wi-Fi access across the country, particularly in the rural and underserved areas. This program aims to provide affordable and widespread internet access by deploying public Wi-Fi infrastructure like hotspots operated by local businesses. PM-WANI is composed of entities like PDO, which is a public data office, who actually sets up the Wi-Fi access, the PDOA, which is the public data office aggregator, which manages all these, manages and integrates all these PDOs with the internet service providers, and also the app providers, which helps the user to discover different Wi-Fi networks and which are PM-WANI compliant and connect to the PM-WANI hotspots. It also consists of a central registry which keeps track of all these entities which are involved in the entire PM-WANI framework. PM-WANI is designed to enhance digital inclusion, providing low-cost or free internet access to citizens, particularly in the remote areas where traditional broadband infrastructure may be lacking. This helps online access to education, businesses, and other services. It also creates opportunities for small businesses to generate additional revenue by offering internet services, thus contributing to employment and digital economy growth. So let us talk about the kind of volunteers we need. So I have my colleague over here, Nilesh, who will be talking about the requirements or the kind of volunteers we require on the business side of PM-WANI.
Thank you, Saurabh. Hello, I'm Professor Nilesh Gupta, and I have been working with the WANI for over a year. Primarily speaking, we need volunteers on two sides. First, obviously the technical side, and second is on playground building. When you become a volunteer in playground building, we will need you to help our government and market partners come to a conclusion or a consensus. These volunteers, you will enhance capacity in our ecosystem partners and help them on their journeys. We are working for PM-WANI because it has the potential to enhance the quality of life of several citizens who are living in villages and other remote areas of the country. In the playground building domain, you will interface between market partners, government partners, and drive their consensus among their views and aspirations. This task will involve scheduling meetings, making presentations, writing reports, and other things for both the government and the private sector. Private sector entities in this space include telecom companies, hardware providers, bandwidth providers, technical service providers, PDOS, etc. To discuss more about the requirements on the technical side, I'll hand off back to Saurabh.
Right. So on the technical side, we also need volunteers who can do multiple technical tasks. So this involves someone who can help us with integration of this PM-WANI protocol with existing frameworks, particularly existing open source frameworks, conducting proof of concepts for new things that we are trying to come up with, and also helping us with the reference implementations. For this, we need someone who has experience with networking, working on Wi-Fi, AAA servers, authentication, authorization, and accounting servers, the Radius protocol, also someone who has knowledge about router firmware like OpenWRT. That will be very helpful. Our existing stack is on the backend stack is on Python and Django framework. So someone with that experience would be great. So we are trying to build systems which are resilient and which will work throughout, which will work at scale. So there are very interesting technical challenges to be solved. So we are looking forward to hire or to get you guys on board and to make sure that we can get this protocol up and doing wonders for our our ecosystem and especially for our nation. Thank you.
Looking forward to meet you all. Have a good time.
Hello and hi there. You must be wondering what is MYIRI. MYIRI stands for My Identity, My Rights and My Information. We aim to empower citizens by simplifying digital interactions in their online world. After a good start at creating some social media presence on all the popular platforms and getting user feedback, we now wish to strengthen and increase our reach by generating more awareness content. We'll put this out with increased frequency and partner with consumer-facing organizations to distribute the content to their customer base. Basically, we are now set to establish and scale up. Developing communication in India is a challenge where the audience is multilingual. But hey, entertainment works across all segments. So what we really need is seriously funny edutainment. To make that happen and to join Team MYIRI, you must have a wicked sense of humor, enjoy all types of music, and consider storytelling an art. We want our volunteers to support in content creation and validation and manage the social media channels. Someone who's hands-on with social media and can develop, create, and tell a story of 30 to 45 seconds would be ideal. All we need is an hour and a half of yours every day to manage our social media account and design and create content. Want to have fun? An idea keeps you awake? Challenges tickle you? Then you're the person for MYIRI. Thank you for listening in.